In this tutorial, we are going to be adding a PG&E A10 medium general demand metered service rate to our main electric meter within our Santa Teresa Medical Center project. Rates are added to meters to calculate utility costs for the SimActual, baseline, and target scenarios. The results of the rate will then be applied to the savings equation to determine if the project is performing better or worse than expected. Metrics allows several different methods of applying costs to your savings equation. Before we make a rate, we need to tell Metrics to use the rate to calculate costs and not to use blended costs. To do this, we're going to go to the main electric meter item within our tree structure, and under the Meter Setup tab, we need to make sure it says Single Utility Rate Schedule under the cost calculation method. Now let's take a look at the rate which we're going to be adding to our main electric meter. This rate contains a daily service charge of $2.22, a summer demand rate of $6.76 per kilowatt, a winter demand rate of $1.89 per kilowatt, a summer energy rate of $0.1256 per kilowatt hour, and a winter energy rate of $0.0915 per kilowatt hour. It should also be noted that the summer season lasts from May 1st through October 31st, and the winter season lasts from November 1st through April 30th. Now let's add this rate to our main electric meter. To do this, I'm going to right-click on the main electric meter item and select New, Rate. In the main data form of the rate, we need to enter the name, description, and utility of our rate. The name is going to be Electric Energy and Demand. The description of our rate is going to be Electric A10 General Demand Metered Service. And our utility is going to be PG&E. Under the Rate Setup tab, we can see that consumption has been converted from BTUs to kilowatt hours, and demand has been converted from BTU hours to kilowatts. Now we must enter the time period for our rate. Our rate begins on October 1st of 2005. This is the date the rate becomes effective. The end date of our rate is set to some point in the future. I'm going to leave the effective through date at 12/31/2099. When a new rate is added to our project, that rate will take effect starting on the date which it is entered, and our current rate will no longer be used. Now under the Rate Details tab, let's enter in a 7% sales tax which will be added to our bills. The rate which we are going to be adding contains 4 charges. Energy and demand charges will be added for the summer and winter seasons. Under the charge items that is associated with this rate, we are going to be adding the charge for the summer demand. Under the Charge Setup tab, let's name our charge Summer Demand. The type of charge is going to be demand, and the period is going to be on peak. Because this charge is for the summer season, the time period is going to be from May 1st through October 31st. And these are the summer dates which were specified in our rate. Under the Charge Detail tab, we need to enter the daily service charge, which is $2.22. Now we need to enter the demand rate under the utility tier. Enter $6.76 under the charge for the first tier. We only have one tier for this rate because dollars per kilowatt does not vary. If there were numerous tiers, different charges and sizes would be entered. The 0 entered in the first tier means that this charge will be applied for all kilowatts of demand. Now we need to add a charge for summer consumption. To do this, we're going to right-click on our rate item and select New, Charges. Under the Charge Setup tab, our name is going to be Summer Energy. The type is going to be consumption. Period is going to be on peak. and our time period is going to be 5/1 through 10/31. This is the same time period which we used in our summer demand charge. Now let's go to the charge detail tab. Our daily service charge is going to be 0 because we already have a customer charge for this time period, which was in summer demand. If we did enter it, the service charge would be charged twice. Now we need to enter the energy rate under the utility tier. Under the charge for the first tier, let's enter $0.1256. The 0 under the tier size means that this charge will be applied for all kilowatt hours of usage. We will now add demand and consumption charges for winter. We are going to drag and drop our summer charges and then just change the name, dates, and charge to their winter values. I'm going to drag and drop our summer demand charge, and I'm going to do the same with our summer energy charge. Let's click on the added summer demand charge, and under the charge setup tab, let's change the name to winter demand. The type of charge is still going to be demand. The period is on peak. However, our time period for winter is going to be November 1st through April 30th. These are the winter dates specified in our rate. Now we need to enter the demand rate under the utility tier. To do this, let's go to the charge detail tab and change the charge from the summer value to its winter value of $1.89. Our last charge will be for winter consumption. Let's click on the added summer energy charge, and under the charge setup tab, let's change the name to winter energy. Our type will still be consumption. The period will be on peak. However, our time period will be from November 1st through April 30th. Now we need to enter the energy rate under the utility tier. Let's go to the charge detail tab, and let's change the charge to 0.0915. This is the charge that will be applied for all kilowatt hours of use during winter. We are now finished entering the rate for our main electric meter. The effect of the rate can be viewed under the Sim Actual tab within the data form for the main electric meter. To view the results of our rate, let's select the main electric meter item and then the Sim Actual tab. The Sim Actual tab displays simulated bill data information, which includes total cost, miscellaneous cost, which includes fuel adjustments and daily service charges, credit dollars, costs from tax, and on-peak consumption and on-peak demand costs. The Sim Actual tab also calculates our energy consumption, meter demand, and bill demand. In this example, since there are no ratchets or special demand provisions, bill demand is the same as meter demand. By looking at the data within our Sim Actual tab, we can see that the rate does not take effect until October of 2005, and this is the date we specified when setting up our rate. In this tutorial, we added an A10 medium general demand metered service rate to our main electric meter. This rate contains 4 charges which are used to calculate costs for consumption and demand for the summer and winter seasons. The results of the rate will then be applied to the savings equation to determine if the project is performing better or worse than expected.